Right, so in today's video we're going to be comparing the Action 5 Pro's Hyperlapse versus the Ace Pro 2's Timeshift. Now, as you can see, I've got both action cameras on these mounts here. We've got the Action 5 Pro on the Telsin neck mount, and then I've got the Ace Pro 2 on the DJI chest harness. So as you can see, both cameras are lined up there, so we're going to get a fair comparison. And to keep this a fair comparison today, both cameras are going to be matched up to the best they possibly can. So on both cameras we're going to be at 4K 30, automatic settings. The field of view on both of them is going to be set to D-warp. And then I've got to enable the high dynamic range on the Ace Pro 2, because on the Action 5 Pro the high dynamic range is always switched on. And for those of you who are familiar with the hyperlapse function on the Action 5 Pro, we've got quite a lot of rates there, starting from 5, 10, 15, 20, I think we'll go up to 30 there. But I've selected times 15 because that matches up identical to the Ace Pro 2. So just beyond this tree line here sits a long road. So we're going to start the hyperlapse and time shifts at the same point at the top of the road. We're going to walk all the way down it because it's a long straight road, remember. Don't get so much twists and turns when you're doing these or it looks messy. So it's going to be a long stretch down there. We're going to veer off right down a long country path, and then we're going to get to a stream where we'll have his first pit stop. So now let's start that time shift and hyperlapse and compare them against each other. Here we go. Right, so now I've reached the stream, I'm going to deactivate the HDR, the high dynamic range, on the Ace Pro 2. Again, we're going to split screen it, and then we'll be able to see the comparison, because as I've said at the beginning of the video, the HDR sometimes looks a lot more saturated than the Action 5 Pro's HDR. So I'm going to continue with the hyperlapse and time shift. We're going to be going under some dark shaded woody area, so just really keep a close eye on both cameras there to see who performs the best. And just to compare battery levels on each one, on the Ace Pro 2 from 100% at the start of the video, we're now on 72%, and on the Action 5 Pro is the clear winner, we're just on 88%. So as you've just seen through that wooded area there were a lot of kinks and turns on the paths that I was walking. Now I don't really like doing that, but I didn't really have much choice there. As you know, I like to keep the paths true and straight as possible, because when you're walking with any kinks and turns when you're doing these hyperlapses and time shifts, as you've seen from that footage, it looks rather choppy and messy. And just in case you're wondering, the battery life on both cameras are now on the Ace Pro 2, we're at 62%, and on the Action 5 Pro, we're still winning at 82%. And now I've put the HDR back on the Ace Pro 2, so let's continue with the hyperlapse versus the time shift. Here we go. So I've come to another pit stop just to check battery levels, and on the Ace Pro 2 we're now on 47%, and on the Action 5 Pro it's a clear winner, on 72%. So that's a massive difference in battery levels there. Now we've got 1800 milliamps on the Ace Pro 2, and now on the Action 5 Pro it's just 1950. So there's only 150 milliamps more there, but you can see a considerable difference in battery levels. And now I'm going to continue with the Hyperlapse versus the Timeshift all the way back. We're going to go through another wooded area, so it's going to be great to see those differences in light and dark areas. Here we go. And now I've come full circle. It's been a couple of miles, I think between 2 and 3 miles I've just done. We've been going for 2 hours 30 minutes. I've kept both action cameras on the entire time. The Timeshift and the Hyperlapse, I've obviously paused them when I've been updating you on the batteries on the pit stops there. And now the battery on the Ace Pro 2 is at 14%, and that's 1800 milliamps. Now on the Ace Pro 2 we're at 54%, and that's 1950 milliamps. So like I said, I've had both action cameras on. They've basically been on the entire time, just in standby mode when I've not been doing the Hyperlapse and Timeshift. So there's a gigantic difference there, and there's only 150 milliamps difference. So the Ace Pro 2 battery life isn't that great, to be fair. It's not like I've kept filming in 4K 30 the entire time. Then I could understand that battery being as low as 14%, but comparing it with the Action 5 Pro there, it's just a gigantic difference, isn't it? So I hope you've enjoyed this video today, and now that you've got a real good insight of the Timeshift versus the Hyperlapse, which one do you prefer? The Action 5's Hyperlapse or the Ace Pro 2's Timeshift? Like I said at the beginning of the video, on the Action 5 Pro you've got 5 rates there, ranging from 5 right through to 30. So I've set the rate at times 15, which matches up perfectly with the Ace Pro 2. Because on the Ace Pro 2's Timeshift, you don't get any options. It's just straight out of camera at the pace that it gives you. But I've done tests there, and I've matched it up. And like I've said, times 15 rate is the perfect one to match alongside the Ace Pro 2. So as always, do stay tuned to the channel, as there's going to be plenty more videos on the horizon. But for now, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and bye for now.